Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Well, all of you Battlestar Galactica fans out there, take probably a little bit of a jump for joy right now because the Battlestar Galactica reboot that was supposed to be coming over there from Peacock is no longer in the works. Now, as a guy that's a fan of the 2004 remake, continuation, I guess it's kind of a reboot kind of for the series out there, something that I really enjoyed. And I know I've only seen a few episodes of the original, and I know, yes, Heretic burned me at the stake, string me up. I deeply apologize to all of the hardcore Battlestar Galactica fans out there. I do apologize. It's it's on a long list of things that I have got to get to eventually, but it was one of those series that I really enjoyed. I really watched it. I watched it from beginning to end. I've enjoyed the spinoff Caprica for the first couple of seasons before it ended up going sideways as well. But other than that, the Battlestar Galactica series from 2004 is something that I really enjoyed. I watched it from beginning to end and an absolute blast the entire time. So when I heard about this reboot, I went, ugh, just like so many of us do the rest of the time every time we hear about a reboot. Well, fortunately enough for all of us, ladies and gentlemen, that reboot is now DOA, or at least for now anyway. Of course, as usual, it happens in the modern era nowadays when a lot of these studios and a lot of these streaming services don't want to take something off. A lot of time you're allowed to shop it around to other places, unless, of course, you're Disney. But in this case, they do have a few options on this one. So we're going to check out this article from IGN.com, get you all of the juicy details of exactly what's going on and what this series is actually supposed to entail and whether or not that's something that you actually hope to see it continued and shopped out there to somewhere else that might pick it up, like a Netflix or an Amazon. Hopefully it's not Amazon, but some other company out like that. Let us know about all of that kind of stuff. So we're getting into this, give you all the juicy details, let you make your own assessments on all of that. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, because we just crossed that 1,000 marker over there on YouTube. We are officially fully monetized again, like we have been from day one over there on Rumble, and I could not have done that without every single one of you. Leave us a comment in the section down below and let us know if this is something you were hopeful for, if maybe after hearing some of the information in this article and what the series was supposed to be about and how it was supposed to work inside the Battlestar Galactica universe, does that get you more excited, less excited, and is it something you're glad to see it's going the wayside, or do you hope they're actually able to pull off shopping this around? Let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section down below. So Battlestar Galactica reboot no longer in development at Peacock. UCP is reporting that attempting to shop it around. So Peacock is no longer working on its long in development Battlestar Galactica reboot, which honestly is probably a good thing. Variety first broke the news, which IGN has confirmed with a source of knowledge close to the situation. So obviously it's one of them situations where Variety reported it. They were like, hey, our inside sources tell us this. And the IGN's like, okay, well, we're going to call up our inside sources. And I do like that they're at least double checking each other, right? They're not just taking it. Because a lot of time we see that in the media these days where they'll just rip stuff off of one other source and just take it on the other. At least when you have the resources to be able to go out there and verify things for yourself, it's always great to double check. Always double check. Although the project was never formally ordered, it's now firmly on the shelf after years of development. According to Variety, Universal Content Productions, UCP, the studio overseeing the show, will attempt to shop it around to other platforms. Peacock's Battlestar Galactica was originally positioned to be a piece of the larger connected universe that is now left floating in space. Oh, aren't you clever? Announced in 2019, the series was pitched as a new story that takes inspiration from the 2004 series created by Ron D. Moore. And that's the one I really enjoyed, and I really liked it. So that would kind of get me kind of excited, except they're trying to say it takes inspiration from that. But there's a little bit more details as the things have kind of developed. Mr. Robot showrunner Sam Esmail has since headed up the project as executive producer. Now, I haven't watched much of Mr. Robot. I don't think I've really seen any of it. Let me know if that was any good or not, if that was something worth seeing as well, and if that would give you kind of hope for this kind of thing. So updates have dripped out since its reveal, with more confirming in 2020 that the reboot would take place within the same universe as the 2004 Battlestar Galactica series. Now that I would like. I loved that universe. I thought Caprica had a lot of potential, and then they kind of fell flat towards the end. And honestly, that would be something that would get me excited for it and actually get me interested in. If you're taking basically like, look, not a reboot, not a remake, but it's going to take place in the same universe as that one. I'd totally be okay with that, just like I'm excited for the Highlander continuation that's coming out. It's not a reboot, it's just a movie set in the same universe and with a new character in his own story. And that would have been something that I would have liked to have seen The Crow do as well, instead of doing a reboot and a remake of something you absolutely should not ever touch. And just because you could do the story of more crows. We've seen that in other iterations. You could have done something like that, but instead they're deciding to do a reboot and a remake. And it looks like this might have actually had the potential to be something decent and not just be another reboot or a remake or a refresh of something we've seen a million times before, though. So the more specific details have remained a mystery. Deadline reported earlier this year that Derek Simmons was attached as writer, executive producer, and showrunner. The Little Drummer Girls' Michael Leslie had previously been, but eventually left. 2002, the series was said to be connected to a new Battlestar Galactica movie written by X-Men Simon Kinberg, though its status is unclear. It's also unclear who will remain attached to the series project that would survive with another buyer. While we wait to see how the Battlestar Galactica franchise may continue in the future, you can read our coverage from a panel with more at San Diego Comic-Con in 2024, where we learned what the show would look like if created today, which that's really cool. But at the end of the day, and honestly, I probably don't want to really know that or any of that kind of stuff out there, but at the end of the day, it's one of them things where this is probably for the best. You know, would I have liked to have seen more stuff from the 2004 series and like in that universe and all of that kind of stuff? Yes, I loved that series. I really enjoyed it. I thought the actors and the characters in that story were absolutely incredible. The actors did a great job bringing them to life. And at the end of the day, the showrunners, the writers, and everybody else involved did a really good job and told a really compelling story, which honestly, I thought would have had one of the best endings we'd seen out there for a long time and actually had some setup to going forward with it. Now, maybe that's just me looking back at it with, you know, happy little eyes and stuff like that. Maybe I need to go back and rewatch it again. But nonetheless, that's something that would have actually got me piqued my interest. But at the end of the day, in an era now where we've seen what modern Hollywood has done time and time again with a lot of the nonsense and all of the checkboxing they've been trying to push with any agenda and willing to sacrifice any IP on the altar of their cult, it's probably best. It's probably best that this thing just goes away. There's a great series. If you like the original out there, by all means, you know, it's one of those things you'll always be able to hold on to that. You'll always be able to enjoy it. And honestly, if you're one of those people like me that enjoyed the '04 series, you can actually go back and rewatch that anytime you want as well. So boys and girls, as to whether or not the future of the Battlestar Galactica reboot, remake, continuation of the 2004 series placed inside the same universe, whatever you want to call it, is it looks like it's at least dead at Peacock. As whether or not they'll be able to shop it around, well, we will keep you abreast, because if it ends up being up to something good, we'll definitely let you know. If it ends up being an absolute abomination and a disrespect to Battlestar Galactica as a whole, and especially to all of you fans out there, you know we will roast it, boys and girls, because at the end of the day, they get what they deserve.